Good evening. Hi, and welcome to part 3 of my coming out story. This is Janet, the mature lesbian, and I hope that you enjoy this. I'm hoping this is the last part of this coming out story. I don't want to keep dragging it, but of course, I had to relay everything that happened and how it actually happened. So, in the last video, I spoke about how I had come out to myself and um, came out to my children, and I left off where my daughter, both my kids love me, and I know they do. Would give their life for me, and I know they will. But to this day, and my daughter is now 30, and at the time she was 18. We have not had a conversation about, my lesbianism. Um, I can't even, it's to the point where I can't talk to her about it. She's not comfortable here, talking to me about it. So I've just left it alone. And I've given her, when you come out to people, they know you one way, and so you have to give them time to adjust to the true you. So I'm giving her that time. But anyway, so now I had to come out to my my siblings and close friends, some close friends, and other people, because what I find out in this life is you continuously keep having to come out. Don't ask me why, because straight people don't ever have to come out. It just is what it is with them, but with us, it's always different. So, I had moved back to at this point, once I took my daughter, went to college, my son and I had moved back to Virginia. And so you know, it was good. Life was good for a little, well, life was good for a long time. And then I realized that I had to come out to family, friends. I came out to cousins and some friends, some good friends, and although they were shocked, they embraced me, and they had positive things to say. And it didn't change as far as I can tell, and it didn't change how they felt about me. They still loved me. They still supported me. They were still in my corner. Then I came out to a friend. Well, not a friend. At the time, I thought it was a friend, and who ended up telling me that I am gonna go to hell. That was the first time anybody ever used those words to me, and it was so. I was shocked because I thought this person was a friend. Hence, this person is no longer a friend, but I thought this person was a friend, and all knew, I know, and I knew at the time was that the God that I love didn't hate me. The God that I love loved me in return. So I couldn't understand why someone who claimed they loved God as much as I do kept insisting that God was not going to love me, or that God, or implied that God didn't love me. And I've had to let go of some relationships, some friend relationships and some close relationships. And actually, am I sad? Yeah, I was sad when I had to do that, but I've come to the realization that I have to put myself first. I matter. I matter. Because for a long time, when you hide who you are, when you're not your authentic self, you live a lie. And that lie, you become someone that you are not, and someone that you really don't like. And I didn't like myself for a long time. And I felt less than. I felt low. It, it appeared that I was happy, but I never was. I never was. And I can tell you that as I'm sitting on this sofa telling you about my coming out story, that I am truly 100% happy. I love me. I love myself. I love the person that I am. And it does not matter to me who does not. It hurts. It hurts for a little while, especially when the people who are supposed to be close to you don't embrace you. It hurts because, we have feelings. We're human and it hurts. But, it gets better. It gets better. And after a time, you even learn to ignore. So, I came out, I had to come out to my mom and I had to come out to my family. And I have a sister that does not know what it is, what a secret is, or first, everything you tell her, as long as it's not about her business, if it's about your business, oof. And if you want it publicized, you tell her, because she's going to publicize it for you. So I was very, I knew what I was doing. I didn't have the guts to say it to my mom. That's the one person that if they turned their back on me, I don't know what I would have done. It would have just killed me. And because the relationship I had, she's no longer here. The relationship I had with my mom up to this point had been such an awesome relationship. My mom loved me, would do anything for me. I knew that. I didn't have to ask anybody that. I knew that. And so anyway, I wanted to come out to my mom, and I wanted to just do it in one fell swoop. I didn't want to have to tell my mom, then tell her I have 5 siblings. I didn't want to have to tell my mom, then have to tell 5 different siblings and tell the cousins and all of that. So I wrote a letter to my sister. It was a 5-page letter, and I was very clear and very detailed, and told her everything. And I didn't hear from her for a couple of weeks, so I figured she had gotten the letter and read it. So I said, okay, I wasn't gonna call her, but then I ended up calling her, and I said, did you get my letter? And yes, but we're not gonna talk about it. That was her response. So needless to say, we didn't speak for a while. And my mom would call me. I would still call my mom, because my mom lived in a different state from me. And I noticed she never mentioned it. So I knew that this was the one time. My sister might have told everybody else, but she never said a word to my mom. And I had a need for my mom to know. I had been hiding for so long and pretending to be something that I was not. And it was very important to me that the people that loved me knew who I was. And so I called my mom. This was a couple days before Thanksgiving the year. I think I told her in 2016, I told my mom. And so I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I need to talk to you. I need to tell you something. And I hemmed and awed, and finally I just said, Mom, if I ever get married again, I need you to know it's not gonna be to a man. And she got really quiet, and I said, do you understand what I'm saying to you? She didn't answer. And I said, Mama is what we called our mom. I said, Mama, do you understand what I'm saying to you? And she did not respond. And I said, Mama, I need you. And by this time, I'm sobbing, I'm bawling on the phone. And I said, Mama, I need you to understand that I am gay. I'm a lesbian. And finally, after I said that, her response to me was, I'm gonna call you back. And I said, oh, Jesus Christ, She can't even talk to me about it. I've certainly lost my mom. I've lost her, and so it almost killed me. I cried, I cried, I cried, I cried. And when I didn't hear from her the next day and the next day and the next day, oh my God, it was so hard. So after Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, and I had, like I said, it was 3 days before Thanksgiving that I told her. And so after Thanksgiving, it was one of the saddest Thanksgiving I've ever had in my life. And after Thanksgiving, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I called her and I said, Mom, I said, you never called me back and we need to talk about it. And she said, all my mom said to me was, no, no, Janet, we don't need to talk about it. She says, listen to me. I'm going to tell you. She says, you're my daughter and I love you. I love you world without end. But that's one thing we will never talk about. And she's Jamaican. She's old school. And I just need, as long as I heard the words, I love you, it hurt that I wouldn't be able to share my entire life with her, but I knew that knowing that she loved me was, it was okay. It was okay. I don't know if had she lived, because she passed in 2017, and I honestly don't know if she had lived longer, if I would have been okay with her not talking about my life. I don't know. I don't know. And she's gone, and so, I won't ever know. But at the time, when she responded and told me how she felt, I was very okay. I was very okay. So then I went on and life went on. And I met someone, was so in love with her. She lived in Florida. Ironically, she lived in Florida. I was in Virginia. We met online. But we met we met each other face to face maybe about a month into us talking to each other on the phone, and it was just instant chemistry. I knew I loved this woman within maybe another month or so. I knew I was in love with her, and she was in love with me. And so she proposed to me. Maybe we were at our 7-month mark, and she proposed to me, and of course I accepted. And even that I was not able to share. I was not able to share that with my daughter. I tried to tell her, but she didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to meet. I am realizing that this hurts me. My daughter did not want to meet the woman that I was going to marry. And that hurts. That hurts. And by this time, my mom had passed. This is like 2019. My mom had passed in 2017, and so we knew we were in love with each other, and we were gonna get married. And because we were living in different states, so we had a long distance relationship. But we saw each other once a month, every weekend. Either I would go to Florida or she would come to Virginia. So we saw each other a lot, and we were in each other's lives, but we weren't rushing to the altar either. So we were planning a wedding for like a year later, because remember now I said she had proposed 7 or 8 months into the relationship, and we were gonna wait an entire year before we got married. But as we went along, I found out this person was very controlling, and it reminded me of my rapist, in the sense that, because I don't get this wrong, she never she never raped me. My rapist was a man. But it reminded me, it brought me back to how controlling that person had been, and it didn't feel good. It was uncomfortable, and that's not something that I was ever going to deal with, because I realized that the controlling, it was a big deal for me. So we okay, let me back up a little bit. So my sister and I, by this time now, my sister, the one that I had sent the letter and she had stopped talking to me, by this time, her and I were talking again. She never talked to me about my sexuality or me being gay. And and I am listening to music. This music does not I don't own the rights to any of this music, so YouTube, do not. But anyway, so we were planning a wedding, and by this time, this is my older sister I'm talking about. I have two sisters, and we had planned. Actually, no, I have four sisters. But the two of them are stepsisters, and two of them are, the two that I actually grew up with in the same house. And so the older of these two is the one I'm talking about. And so, we were talking again. And so once, we started, my ex-fiance and I started planning our wedding. My sister called me and I told her, I said, I'm getting married and I would like for you to attend my wedding. And she paused and she says, my God, what won't allow me to go to your wedding? I said, your God? I thought he was all of our gods. And, so needless to say, we had a falling out over that. And because like I said, I keep saying, the one thing I keep saying in my entire life is God loves us all. And I think a lot of Christians use religion incorrectly and so wrong, and use it to they abuse what the Bible says, and we have to remember. Let me not go into this discussion because if somebody happens to watch this video and you're young and you're a lesbian or you're gay, please know, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. God loves us all. The straight people, the lesbian people, the black people, the white people, the pink people, the purple people. He loves us all. So don't fall into that kind of trap, because that's one of the reasons it took me till I was 44 to come out. Because I grew up in such a religious family and I believed all the crap. I believed that hearing that God, being gay and Sodom and Gomorrah and all this crap, and that God wasn't gonna love me. Don't believe that. But anyway, I'll move on. And so coming out again to my sister was not successful. And then I came out to the younger sister who told me she loved me, but God didn't like it either. Oh, Jesus. And at that point, I just stopped. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to have a conversation with anybody else. If you want to know if I'm gay or if I'm straight, ask me and I'll tell you. I've since... I've just gone on with my life and tried to live as 100% being my authentic self, and I'm ignoring all the negative. I'm ignoring the negative, because if you concentrate on the negative, you're gonna fall in a hole, and I do not intend to fall in a hole. I intend to live as long as I can, and I am looking for love, and I'm hopefully one day I will find love. But what I want anybody watching this video to know is, please, you have to be your true self. You have to be your authentic self. You have to be who you are. You cannot hide. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. And people always try to people are always going to try to make you feel less than. please don't do what I did and allow them to, because that's why I ended up in so many relationships with men that mistreated me. Knowing, I knew, like I said from the first video, I knew from the time I was 5 or 6 years old that something was different about me. I didn't know what what that different meant, but I knew that I was different. And the sorry thing is, I believed that I was different bad. There's nothing bad about being different. You're just different from others. You know, we are all unique. We're all unique. We all have different things that we do, that we love. You know, we're all unique, and we should all be treated as unique individuals. So please, I am begging, if someone watches this video and you are still in the closet, don't allow, I also don't want to push anybody out of the closet, but what I'm trying to say is, you have to be yourself. Be yourself. It's a hard thing. It is hard to come out, to stand up to people who believe otherwise. It's hard, because I remember when I came out to, because you have to come out to yourself, and when I came out to myself, I sobbed like my world was ending, because I finally had to acknowledge that I am not the person the life I was living. I'm not the person that I was portraying. It wasn't me. I saw someone else's coming out video, and I remember the gentleman saying it's like he was in a box, and over the years the box kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's how it is, because what ended up happening with me is, I felt like I was losing. I was like, I couldn't get enough air. I couldn't get enough air, and I felt, when I ended up coming out to myself, I felt that I was suffocating, and I just couldn't, I needed air to breathe. And until I said to myself, Janet, you are a lesbian, I couldn't catch a good breath. It sustained. The minute I accepted who I was, I felt stronger. I felt like I could breathe. I had all the air I needed. So all I'm trying to say is, please be yourself. Don't allow someone else to dictate who you are, or who they think you should be. Please, if nothing else in this life, be your authentic self. Love yourself. It is hard. It is very hard coming out. But, you know, I hope you have the strength to eventually, and I hope you have the strength to love yourself. That's all my message is about. You know, I am not here trying to tell you that I know everything, because I don't. Because the big thing for this channel is, yeah, I came out at 44, and I've lived as a straight person for so long that I have trouble sometimes figuring out what to do in certain situations. I'll be outside in the store and I see a woman that I think is attractive. I don't know what to do, what to say, how, you know, so the goal behind this channel, one of the goals, other than to promote my books, behind this channel is to form friendships with other mature lesbians, or any lesbians or gay that will give me, you know, teach me, because I'm a baby gay. I'm 57 years old, but I came out at 44. I've had I'm not gonna say two. I've had one relationship, because the one that I was in for 11 years, I can't even acknowledge that, because it feels like I was in a relationship with myself. Because the woman that I was in the relationship with, that I loved with everything in me, swear to God that she is straight, and she was straight, and never made me feel loved. But the one, so I've only had one true relationship, and it didn't work out, but I felt loved. I felt loved, and I felt loved. And I want to experience that again, but I also need to learn how to be how to be a mature lesbian for real, because I am a baby gay. I came out late, and I just need to learn, and I need to form some friendships. So I am done with my coming out story. I hope it appeals to somebody out there, and I hope it helps someone out there. And I know I rambled on, but I'm hoping, if nothing, if you don't take anything else away from this video, please understand that you are loved, you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to also be you, and you deserve to be respected as your true self. So God bless you. Please like and share this video, and please subscribe to the Mature Lesbians channel.